My name's Steve Gardner. I live in the south of London in England. I've fished for the English team now for 26 years consecutively, and I have just been selected to fish for the 27th year. We've had a good time since I've been fishing with them. We've had some bad times, but I managed to win 10 World Championship gold medals team-wise. I've had a second and a third individual, and I hope to carry on for another couple of years maybe. I can remember that the first time I went fishing was when I was about 5 years old. I moved to a new house in Surrey, and there was a pond very near to my house, and I used to go there early in the morning and try to catch a fish with some fishing tackle we made from a cane and a reel, and I can still remember the first fish. I was 5 years old, and it was a crucian carp, and that was the very, very first one. But my grandfather told me that when I was 3, we went on an outing to the River Thames, and there were some people fishing, and they got me a stick with some line on the end, and no hook, and I sat there for ages. And I think this is where I started, because nobody in my family went fishing. The first competition was when I was about 16. I met a guy who was very much into match fishing, and he used to take me fishing. I should have been at school, but I didn't. I was off school, and he was very much into making his own fishing tackle, floats, and breeding maggots, everything. He was a perfectionist, and this guy, his name was John Benham, and he started me fishing the competitions with Dorking. I joined the club I still represent when I was 16, and I've been there ever since. But the following year, when I was 17, I won my first competition ever, and I won 3 consecutively, and that was what started me the real bug of match fishing. The best competition for catching the most fish, not necessarily the most enjoyable fishing, the most quantity of fish, was in Spain, in a place called Arcos de la Frontera. I know you know this yourself, yeah. We flew, and there was a party of 30 English anglers, and the fishing was unbelievable. I've never caught so many fish. Fishing very close in with maize, corn, and we managed to catch in 6 6-hour competitions. I weighed in 2,400 pounds, which is, I don't know in kilos, a lot. I mean, I love catching all fish as long as I can keep catching, whether they be small or big. But I think going back from when I first started match fishing, roach was the fish that we all cherished. That was the fish that everybody loved to catch. So probably roach, but I like catching all fish. I think if you want to just go fishing, then you can relax and enjoy everything, yeah? The day, the peace and quiet, especially some places in the countryside are beautiful. But match fishing is not relaxing. It's a lot of work before the competition, and obviously during the competition can be very, very difficult sometimes in exercise. It's a lot of strenuous work sometimes. It may not seem like that for a lot of people, but it can be, and especially in England, because we sometimes have to fish with very, very long poles, and they weigh a lot. And at the end of the day, you can be very, very tired, especially now I'm getting older. You can feel the strain on your body. Most of the time I am fishing, Milo, to be honest. I fish usually 3 competitions a week, which is Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday. And then on the Monday I go into my shop and work for one day. And then Tuesday, Tuesday I spend preparing for the competition on Wednesday, and then obviously Wednesday I fish. Thursday I spend at home with my wife, and then Friday again I'm preparing for fishing for the weekend, and then fishing Saturday and Sunday. It's just fishing all the time. For one, there is a big difference between fishing in Europe and in England, because in England we fish to different rules. So we have to fish ledgering and feeder fishing, and because of this, we probably find things out which is more difficult to find if you cannot use these particular disciplines. So from that point of view, I think we have an advantage, yes, but also we have a disadvantage when we come to countries like Italy, Spain, the hot countries, because the fish definitely feed differently then, and they take a lot more food, so we can throw a lot more ground bait and a lot more maggots and a lot more everything. So this is a disadvantage. So we have an advantage, yes, because we do a lot of different types of fishing, but we have a disadvantage when it comes to fishing in hot countries. Plus we have a disadvantage when it comes to fishing with floats at long range, because in England it just doesn't happen. We tend to fish the feeder or the ledger when we have to go a long way. So it makes it easier for us, but when we go abroad and we have to compete internationally, it's more difficult. I think that countries like Italy have an advantage in this case. You have to sit by a computer, you tend to be sitting there eating, drinking and getting bigger, and no exercise. Although fishing to a lot of people it looks a relaxing sport, it's not always, because sometimes you have to walk, carry a lot of tackle and a lot of exercise while you're actually there. So I think the whole thing is being outside in the fresh air and the sun, because the sun is important to us, and sitting by a computer all day is bad for the eyes, and also is no exercise. So I think fishing is a very good sport, and the people that go fishing, there is no trouble, no problems. Everybody has a good time, and it's a very good social scene. The first time I remember seeing Milo, I can remember clearly, was 1987 on the banks of the river in Coimbra in Portugal on the World Championship. I can remember Milo was in my section. And then the following year we were in Belgium, and that is when I remember meeting you properly. And I think the relationship started with the company in either 89 or 90, and so for 23 or 24 years we've worked together on all sorts of things, products, various products we've worked on, with tackle boxes and rods and a lot of things over the years. And I like to think it's been a good and a successful relationship. I think the biggest boost for fishing that I have seen in the last 30 years has come from the television. We had a series in England where John Wilson fished throughout, not only in England, he went abroad, and he had a program which was on the television which everybody could see, and the boost that the trade got in my shop by more people going fishing, youngsters, and also a lot of anglers who have been fishing in the past and stopped, and they saw this program and the sunshine and lots of fish, and they decided to start up again. And I think television is the biggest thing for our sport. We have to have more and more programs. I am Steve Gardner, and I like watching Italian fishing TV.